Bam! My peoples. My peoples. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. We talking boxing, y'all. You know how we do it. First of all, let me say happy Friday. You know, you get paid on Fridays. We get paid today. We got paid today. My paper got deposited already. Appreciate my company, but I digress. My peoples, Claressa Shields said that Tank is scary. Her own words, he's scary. So I ask you, is Claressa Shields making a legit point? Is she talking facts? K-Man 44, salute. Corey B in the building. Sai, what's the deal, my G? That's the magic question, y'all. Because at the end of the day, she has her reason why she's saying Tank is scary. Do we agree? Do we disagree? That's gonna be a conversation we gotta have. But those were her exact words. Tank is scary. That's what the quote said. So here's my point. If Tank Davis can fight whoever he wants, and he chooses not to fight Shakur, is he scary? Is he scared? And I've had people tell me, nah, because Shakur don't hit hard, so why he gonna be scared? He's not gonna get knocked out. He could be scared of taking that out. He could be scared of, being made to look bad. Because that's the thing. Right now, Tank Davis is already talking about retirement, and he got that O intact. Lamar Roach already gave him a blemish. Bah! And what happens with that blemish is that it takes away some of that air of invincibility. It's like, ooh, wait a minute. We all know a lot of people are going to see that draw as a gift. In a lot of people's eyes, Tank Davis was gifted that draw. But if you agree with the draw, it's still a blemish. Anas, salute, bam. It's still a blemish on his record in a guy that he chose not to give a rematch to, in Lamont Roach. So Claressa Shields says, yo, he's scary. He's scary. Rough assignment. He should be fighting Roach. That's facts. That's facts. He should be fighting that rematch. Um, Look, the narrative that he chose to bag, in fighting Jake, in exhibition showing with Jake Paul, that's a false narrative. And I've debunked that easily. You know why? Rough assignment? Because he could have fought Lamont Roach in the original date when he was supposed to fight him and still fought Jake Paul in the same date he's going to fight him. Both of those fights could have been made. So there's no reason to say, well, he could have fight Roach because he chose Jake Paul. There's no need for that. That's cap. That's excuses. How you gonna tell me that he chose the bag? This fight was months ahead of that one. And that's not even a real one. That's an exhibition show. It's not even a real fight. I know they selling it. They say, no, we gonna raise somebody's hand at the end. No, it's still an exhibition no matter how they want to sell it to people. So you could have climbed the ring with, and by the way, that was a very anticipated rematch. Very much anticipated. People was talking about it. People was making predictions. And by the way, before anybody even asked me, yes, I predicted that Lamar Roach was gonna beat Tank Davis in the rematch. And a bunch of people was telling me, nah, Jay, you wilding out because Tank just, he wasn't focused, he wasn't the same, and in the rematch, he's gonna knock him out. He's gonna knock Lamar Roach out, and he's even gonna make it look easy. Every time a top-notch fighter either gets beat or it's a close fight to where it looked like they were gifted a decision, people always say that. People always say that fighter's not the same. Errol Spence wasn't the same either. Sean Porter wasn't the same. Kell Brook wasn't the same. Amir Khan wasn't the same. Nobody's the same. That's the go-to line. Came at 44. Tank knows that it's difficult to even touch Shakur, so he won't KO him, and he can't win decision fight with Shakur. So that's the thing, that for those who say, oh, he's not scared because Shakur don't hit hard, it's not about him being scared of getting knocked out. It's him being scared of taking that out. Not wanting to be in a position where, oh shit, he got smoked, got cooked, got danced around. Well, that looked like home Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic, we're very similar, the landscape. So I agree with you on that, 100%. My peoples, but come on, keep it 100. Is Tank scary? Is he scared of Shakur, man? What's your opinion on that? If you don't think that Tank is scared of Shakur, I need answers. Why don't you think that? Because I'm telling you why I believe he is. I'm making my case for y'all. I believe he's scared of Shakur. Number one, he could have been made that fight. The last couple of years, he could have been made that fight. That's number one. Number two, for the people who say it's about the money, you're not going to make more money with Frank the Ghost Martin, Pitbull Cruz, and Rollies that you're going to make with Shakur Stevenson. That's cap. That's cap. You're going to make a lot more money with Shakur. So, it's not about the money. What is it about? It's about him being scary. That's it. It's about, and I gotta say, all those rumors or not even the rumors, because Tank Davis himself said that he's considering retirement and all that stuff, and that he's gonna get this bag and he's out. We're all gonna be hurt if Tank Davis really does retire, because we're gonna get one of the most talented fighters of this generation leave the game at 30, 31 years old and never fight any other guys that are at the top, that are at his level, that could have been those super fights. Never? Damn, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's insane. How do you even digest that? I know there's gonna be, the people that are gonna say, well, he made a lot of money. Made a lot of money. So from the business aspect, we could say that Tank is a success. But since when are we judging the business aspect? When do we start doing that? Rough assignment. I don't want to think he's scared, but it seems so. He's scared of taking that L. Scared, bro. I want to remind you, rough assignment, that Tank says specifically that he had this list. Tio was on it, Davin was on it, and even Shakur was on it. What the hell happened to that list? They flushed it down the toilet? He went from having Shakur on a list to getting mad as hell if they even mention Shakur's name to him. People be like, yo, are you gonna fight Shakur? Why you bringing him up? What he done? What he done? Like, huh? What are we talking about? He asking what Shakur done to fight him. You wanna tell me what Pitbull did to fight you? You wanna tell me what Rolly's Frank Martin did to fight you? Because none of them had ever won a title. None of them had ever even fought for a title before climbing in the ring with you. What they did is that they had skills and they won fights. That's what they did. They had skills and won fights and beat good opponents. Well, Shakur Stevenson is a multi-division champion. So how are they qualified to fight you and he not? So it's like there's been every single excuse under the sun to not fight Shakur Stevenson. So when Claressa Shields say he's scary, I believe her. I believe her. And it's, please don't call me a hater. Please don't say, nah, Jay, you a hater. Because if we talk about Tank Davis's skills, I always say it. He's that dude when it comes to skills. He's him. He one of the guys that's at the very top. Okay, man. Jake Paul wasn't on the list. Yo, that list, I don't know, man. I don't know what happened with that. It's like the whole list got flushed down the toilet and the whole new one got made up with just Jake Paul name up top. Toy Mafia, yo, my brother. Bam, salute. So I haven't seen anyone make a legit point to say, look, for this reason, I know he not scared. I'm telling you why I feel like he's scary and why Claressa Shields saying he's scary. She pointed out the guys. How many people she pointed out? I think she said Tan. Um, she pointed out Shakur, Teofimo. I'm not sure who else. Come on now. Tank Davis has the power to make those fights. K-Man lost sound. Nah, my brother, I didn't lose sound. My bad, my peoples. I was talking to the wife. Again, somebody please make an argument to show me that Tank Davis is not scary. Make an argument on his behalf. Yes, he's making a lot of money. Okay, great. Yeah, he's making a lot of money. But all these years have passed, and he didn't fight none of them. All these years. Tank is 30 years old. I'm not sure when he's gonna be 31. And still at this point, talking about retirement without any of those names in his resume. I need answers. I need answers, my peoples. Y'all tell me what's going on. Y'all put me on. My peoples, I'm going to put myself on mute for 1 second. No, I did not lose sound the second time, my peoples. So give me your opinion, man. Let me know what y'all think. Is Tank Davis scared? Does he have a legitimate reason why he hasn't fought these guys at this point in his career? And what do you think about Tank Davis, if he chooses to retire without fighting any of the best? I know it's already been said that, it's about the money and, it's business and all that. But how are you going to measure him up, his career? Is that going to be the only thing that we're going to say? Well, he made a lot of money. Made a lot of money, that's it. Which, by the way, if a fighter's objective is solely to make a lot of money, and he makes a lot of money, he had a good career. He had a great career. Al Maker. Who he's scared of, Jay Smith? I mean, he's scared of Shakur Stevenson, scared of Teofimo Lopez, and scared of Devin Haney. Could have made all those fights. Now, I won't say all those names. I'll say he's scared of Shakur Stevenson. That's the one he's scared of. He's shook. Scared to death. Rough Simon. I think that you and the GOAT may be right. I'm telling you. There's a reason why Claressa Shields saying he's scary. And it is because at 30 years old, he's talking about retirement without fighting the guys who he said they was on his list to fight. Remember the list? It's like we want to forget about it. Act like he didn't say that they was on his list and he was going to fight them. It's like he flushed that whole list down the toilet and made up a whole new one with only Jake Paul's name on it. Scary. That sounds like scary material. Came at 44. 10 will avoid Shakur like Canelo avoided Benavidez till he's out the game. I mean, honestly, when you see Shakur telling you that he lost hope for that fight, that he's telling you, nah, that's it, man. That's it. That's it. When Shakur's telling you he's done, that's it. He already understood that this guy's not going to fight him. Refused to. Al the Maker. Tank ain't scared. He shook. He's a champion that came up from nothing. What that got to do with him ducking Shakur? Nothing. He making the best move for his future and his family. What that got to do with ducking? Nothing. And Al the Maker, I already debunked that narrative. You know why? Because he could have fought Lamar Roach back then, months a couple months ago, and still fought Jake Paul on the same date that he's going to fight. He could have fought both of them, got 2 bags, and that would have been great for his family too, don't you think? There was no reason to not fight Lamar Roach. The fights were months apart, out the maker. And you act like you don't know this. Come on now. He could have fought that rematch and still got that money that you're talking about, his family and his future and all that stuff. Unless he thought Lamont Roach was going to whoop his ass. Then in that case, let's not do the rematch, because then we're going to lose the bag with Jake Paul. Interesting. Arch 30. Maybe not scary, but definitely not motivated to fight anymore. No, definitely scary. You see how you say not motivated to fight anymore? So why he didn't fight them last year or the year before that or the year before that? He 30 years old, my G. You're acting like, well, he's not motivated anymore. So he was motivated all the other years and he still didn't fight them? Scary. It sounds like scary material. All the excuses in the world to not fight these guys. Really, look what Other Maker said. He's not scary because he's securing the future. But Other Maker, Jake Paul is one fight that he's about to have at 30 years old. All these other years, what was he securing? Well, because you think he was going to make more money with Frank the Ghost Martin that he would have made with Shakur Stevenson? You think he would have made more money with Pitbull Cruz and Rollies, who never even fought for a title at that time, that he would have made versus Shakur Stevenson or versus Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney? So what are you talking about, Aldo Maker? Now you're thinking about Tank Davis' family? Why you didn't think about his family when he was fighting Pitbull? You should have thought about his family back then and say, yo, fight Shakur. You're going to make a lot more money for your family. You're going to make a lot more money to secure your future if you fight Devin Haney. Oh, your logic wasn't that back then, right? Your logic was different. Now, when he's fighting Jake Paul in an exhibition show, now you're worried about his future. Come on. That's crazy. That's why, when we look at the career, Tank Davis ain't getting into the Hall of Fame. Not getting into the Hall of Fame, Aldo Maker. While you're talking about he's a champion, Tank won a secondary title that was vacant against Yuriorkis Gamboa, and he's never fought a reigning champion in the 135 division. In fact, they sent him an email title. The main title, that shit was emailed to him. He never fought a champion in that division. So, you can see it however you want to see it, but the record books, they write it the way that it really is. Just know that. They bamboozled you into thinking Tank is a 3-division champion. Never beat a champion in the 135 division where he at right now. And in 140, he beat Mario Barrios for another secondary title while Josh Taylor was the undisputed champion. You know what undisputed mean, Aldo Maker? Undisputed means that you got all the belts in the division, that you're the guy. So while Josh Taylor was undisputed, Tank Davis had you believing that he was a champion at 140. They bamboozled you. You got bamboozled. Hoodwinked. Run amok. Joe Jackin. Tank love ain't in boxing no more. It shows. I mean, you could say that it shows that his love ain't in boxing no more. But where was his love last year, the year before that, the year before that? That he didn't fight none of those guys. So when he did have love for boxing, he still didn't want to fight none of them. Because if the excuse for him ducking Shakur is that he don't love boxing, then what happened last year when he was in love with, or the year before that, or 5 years ago? Like what's been going on all the years that he was in love with boxing and didn't fight none of them guys? I don't understand it. Corey B. Floyd will have made a rematch, and he's always looking for the bag. I mean, that rematch, my peoples, we just got, you know, we got hoodwinked. We had already made all types of predictions. There was a fight date in place. Yo, they didn't even have the balls to cancel that shit. They just went on and announced the new one. That shit was crazy. George Jacket, it means you have all 4 belts. Josh Taylor was the undisputed champion in the 140 division when Tank Davis moved up and got the secondary strap from Mario Barrios and moved right back down to 135 without a single defense of that belt. Just so y'all could think that he's a 3 division champion. He ain't no 3 division champion. He ain't no goddamn 3 division champion. F out of here. Out of the maker. Shakur wanted to fight Tank so bad, but if he wanted to fight the man, he should go attempt to unify at 140. That's the problem, out of the maker, that you have. That you make requests for Shakur to fight Tank. Pitbull never won a title, and he fought Tank. Frank Martin never won a title, he fought Tank. Rolly's never won a title, he fought Tank. Lamar Roach got brought up from the 130 division, made his debut at 135, and he fought Tank. But you need Shakur to go up to 140 and unify. How you sound, now the maker? You see how you allow Tank opponents to be down here, but you raise a different bar for Shakur Stevenson? That's the Tankomaniac logic, bro. The crazy Tankomaniac logic. No, Shakur gotta do more. Shakur gotta do more. And Tank will fight Jake Paul and whoever he wants. Come on. Y'all gotta stop the Tank. Look, fans like you is the reason why Tank could do whatever he wants and never fight no champions. Because you're gonna support him no matter what. That's the one thing. Tank Davis, you gotta give him his props. He has a loyal fan base. Yo, he could pick a YouTuber for his next fight that never been in the ring. And Out the Maker gonna sit here and tell us, yo, but he getting the bag though. That's what really matters. It doesn't matter the experience of the opponent. He's getting the bag. That's gonna be your talking point. On Lace in the building. Salute, my brother. Bam. Kenneth Harden. Salute. Out the Maker. If Tank retires, he did his thing in the sport. I mean, he became a millionaire. He did his thing. You're right. Definitely did his thing. In the record books, he's not going to be reflected very much. He's not going to be reflected at all. When it's all said and done, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, Lomachenko, all of them are going to be way above him in the history books. Like listen, 20 years from now, man, we ain't even going to be talking about Tank Davis. His fights is going to be lost in the archives. Ain't nobody want to watch you beating people that didn't accomplish much. His fight's going to disappear in the archives. But these young lions, they fights, they're going to be watching them 20 years from now. They're going to be on ESPN Classic when Teofimo Lopez fought Lomachenko, when Devin Haney fought Lomachenko, if Shakur and Teofimo fight. These fights, you're going to see them 20, 30 years from now. People who don't watch boxing now, who are going to watch boxing in the future, they'll be watching those fights. Tank Davis, man, listen, you know how many boxers knocked a bunch of people out and nobody care about those fights in the future? He's going to be one of those. Made a lot of money. I guess you're gonna be celebrating his money. That's gonna be fun to pocket watch him. But ain't nobody gonna be watching him, son. You're gonna disappear. And the funny thing is that Tank Davis himself told you, nah, I'm not the face of boxing. I'm just a guy who boxes. Told you himself. Because he already felt that pressure that he was gonna have to fight one of these guys. Oh, you the guy, fight one of these guys then. The pressure was mounting up. So now he's telling you, nah, I'm not the face. So you could keep fighting for his honor, but that's it. When the conversations are taking place about who's the best of this generation, that's it. He took himself out that convo, homie. He out of it. So you're gonna be able to make the argument about how much money he made. you're not gonna be able to defend him as far as the resume. Resume's cooked compared to these other guys who are younger than him. George Jacket, 10 highs at 135 in the kiddie pool. Errol Spence started at 147 too long. Stayed at 147 too long. Nah, I don't think so. I don't think Errol stayed too long. Not at all. Now, Tank Davis has stayed at 135 for too long for sure. You see, he a weight bully at 135. And people think, oh, he's short. He's short. That shit don't matter that he's short. This nigga be walking around like 170 pounds, big. Walk around weighing 170, 180. Big as hell. So Tank has the athleticism and just the what's the word I want to use, man? The discipline to be able to drop all that weight and make 135. But still, the day before Tank announced that he was either going to 140 or fighting Manny Pacquiao, I told you guys, I was like, yo, he's not going to be able to stay at 135 much longer. He's not going to be able to. Because think about your body when you was 25 years old versus when you were 30. Your body changes. You have a different frame. So he moved up to 135 when he was 25 years old. And right now he's 30 and he was still fighting at 135. Think about Shakur, who's younger than him, moved up divisions already. Look at Devin, moved past, already going to be fighting at 147. Look at Teofimo Lopez. All these guys who are younger than him, they moving up because their body, their frame is changing. Tank Davis staying at 135, trying to fight smaller guys, weight bully shit. So I told you guys he was either going to have to retire or move to 140 because he wasn't going to be able to keep making that 135. You know what would have happened if he would have stayed at 135? Eventually, look what Lamar Rhodes did to him. He was going to get to a fight, weight drained, weak as hell, and he was going to get beat by a lesser opponent. That's what's going to happen to him. He was going to have to move up. That's it. Kenneth Harden. I've been watching Tank for a while, and he has done his best according to his young knowledge and experience in boxing. He got the back and now moving on as he grows. I mean, look, I said it before, business-wise, Tank Davis has done great. Business-wise. But Kenneth Harden, your whole paragraph eludes the fact that he stood away from fighting all of the best around him. Come on, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, and Teofimo Lopez were all or have all been at 135 with him. They not only have they been in the division with him, they've been champions while he's a champion, my brother. How can you excuse that? There's no way to excuse that. Because it's easy for him to be able to say, oh, he ain't got no belt. He ain't got no belt. Why am I fight him? But they were smart. They built the narrative of, oh, we don't care for titles. We don't care for belts. So now, oh, well, these guys are champions, but you don't care for titles and you don't care for belts, so you're not going to fight them. People fed into that narrative. That was crazy to me. That was crazy to me. R30. So, my G, is it safe to say the referee that didn't count Tank taking a knee is on the charade for Tank? Look, I don't want to make that assumption. That's not fair to make that assumption. But it definitely didn't look good. And I'm going to tell you what. I've spoken to people in boxing. I spoke to a judge. I spoke to some coaches who told me they cannot make sense of it. They don't understand how Tank took a knee. He started counting and stopped. What made him stop counting? We'll never know. We'll never understand it. Gary Flower. This is too much politics in the fight game now. They're running the boxing game. They're ruining the boxing game. I'm telling you, man. Bojan, no. No what? Tank is shook. If that's what you're saying. George Jacket, 135, and demands rehydration clause. Bud told Canelo, I'll fight you at 168 and no rehydration clause. Yeah, but we already knew that Terence Crawford is trying to be like the greatest. He's trying to be, the guy. That's why he did that. He wanted to make sure that when he whooped Canelo, there was going to be no conversation about, oh, Canelo was weight drained or Crawford, had an advantage because of this and that. Went in there as the underdog, as the guy that was supposed to get knocked out, and put the Swiss, the Dre, and the respective Apple Beats on Canelo Alvarez. Come on now. Kenneth Harden. I meant to say I agree with you. He stayed at 135 too long. Oh, okay. That's what I'm talking about, bro. My man stayed at 135 for 5 years, and all these guys went through the division, and he ain't fight any of them. And why I believe it's a bad look is because Tank Davis is one of the few fighters. Tank Davis is one of the few fighters in boxing who has the power to pick his opponent, who has the power to say, I'm going to fight you. Make the call. We're going to get that. He's one of the few fighters who can do that. So he has chosen not to fight these guys. That's crazy. And the fact that he hasn't faced any of them, and he's already talking about retirement, that's crazy. That's insane. One of the best fighters of this era, one of the fastest, one of the strongest, one of the hardest pound for pound punches, you're gonna retire without fighting any of the top dogs? That's insane, my people. Rough assignment. Gary Russell Jr. been saying this about Tank. Been saying it. Black Jericho. Tank fans never talk about Tank being the first ever to take an NFL timeout. They just say they like Tank braids. Side, salute to Bud. Yo, look, Terence Crawford, that's part of why his win over Canelo was special. Because he, not just that he jumped up multiple divisions, not just he fought the face of boxing, he didn't look for any advantage in the ring. Just like, let's go. You can weigh whatever you want to weigh. I'ma weigh whatever. And let's get it. And no controversy. We saw Tank Davis, Lamar Roach. A lot of us feel like Roach won that fight. Tank got gifted that draw. With Canelo Alvarez, Canelo fans is not out there saying, whoa, Canelo got robbed. They took it from him. I think the only one I heard say that was Eli Sekbak. And he be having way too much Kizak in his mouth. Y'all gotta keep it real. Kenneth Harden, he acted like he's holding a grudge against these top dogs. I'm trying to tell you, man, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Arch 30. You're exactly 100%. That's why the referee didn't count the knee that Tank took. The high grind should have been a disqualification. Come on now. Listen, I had Mrs. Tiffany Daniels with me on the show. And she said, and by the way, Tiffany Daniels is a professional judge and a USA boxing official. And she said, number one, the knee should have been an 8 count. That's number one. And number two, when he turned around and walked away, that's grounds for disqualification. The referee could have waved it right then and there. And then wiping his face while the clock is ticking. Let me not even get to that. Let me not even get to that. My peoples, look. For anybody that think that I'm a Tank Davis hater, I just want to say, just listen to what I say when we talking about Tank Davis skills. When we talking about what Tank Davis bring to the table. Because when we talking about that, I'm the first to tell you, pound for pound, Tank is one of the hardest punches in the game. One of those fighters who can end it with one shot. Boom, it's over. Go to sleep. We've seen him do it multiple times. The ring IQ, the footwork, the speed, the angles. Tank has everything in his bag of tools. The patience. He's a special fighter. I don't question that, my peoples. I know he is. You don't have to tell me that. But his resume is not special. That's the problem. My problem is not with what Tank Davis is able to do. I already know that. I already know how good he is. Come on, man. I've been watching him. Just like y'all. I know. But goddamn, I want to know why you don't fight Shakur, Teofimo, Devin Haney. I want to know why you don't fight these guys. I want to know what happens if y'all fight. What's wrong? What's wrong with that? Come on now. I simply want to know what happens when the best fight the best. Tank Davis, the most talented guy, one of the most talented fighters in the division. Shit. Imagine who in this group, who in this chat was not going to tune in if Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson fight? Who doesn't want to see that fight? I'm going to tell you something, my peoples. I've never heard a single person say, nah, Tank and Shakur, I don't really want to see that fight. That's a fight everybody wants to see, my peoples. I just want to see it like everybody else, man. I wish I could be sitting right there with Tank. So I could tell him, yo, Tank, look, you my guy, bro. You is my guy, but I need you to go ahead and fight Shakur. Yo ass, that's it. And it's all love. Eye for eye. Wait, Tank got his under his belt, bro. Got body count. Body count. Come on. Come on, man. Body count. What history books you ever seen that's talking about body count? They talking about titles. They talking about who became undisputed, who won titles in multiple divisions, who beat the Hall of Famers. Ain't nobody talking about no damn body count. But Tank fans. Rough assignment. We want to know what happened to that list. Man, listen, Tank done flushed that list down the toilet and made up a whole new list that only includes Jake Paul. What kind of shit is that? Now he only got one list that just got one name on it, Jake Paul. The Hydro Grind. Who has the better resume in all those you mentioned? Who's fighting everyone? Well, Devin Haney already fought Lomachenko, already fought Regis Prograis. Yeah, come on. Vamos a terminar. My peoples, I'm going to have to end the show now. I'm going to have to put a pause on the show now. Matter of fact, I'm going to leave the live running, but I got to step out. Hold on, my people. I'm going to leave the live running. I was going to end the show, but this show doesn't need to be ended, my peoples. So look, check it. I'm going to leave the live running, my peoples. I'm going to leave the live running, and I'm going to come back, and we're going to keep talking boxing. So y'all go at it with each other. Those defending Tank, those that understand that he shook, you go at it with each other, my peoples. I'll be back and join the argument. See you in a few. Hey Alexa, please show me Sonic the Hedgehog green cartoon on YouTube. Ooh. My peoples, your boy Jay Smith is back in the building. Let me set up shop. We got things to talk about, things that need to be discussed. My peoples, probably the longest commercial break in history. But your boy Jay Smith is back. We not done. We are not done. Kenneth Harden, what's the deal, my G? Bam, JJ's in their house. You damn Skippy that I was planning on coming back, and here I am. Had to do it. I had to do it, my peoples. Um, so to those of you who are still tuned in, y'all know what it is, man. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Look, man, we've been talking about this whole time before I had to, pull off the longest commercial break in YouTube sporting shows history. We was talking about Claressa Shields and how she said Tank Davis is scary, yo. He's scary. And I agree with her. I have reason to agree with Claressa Shields when she say Tank is scary. That's all I'm saying. JJ said that 24 likes. Let's go. Don't be a duck. I'm telling you, JJ, people be ducking that like button the same way Tank Davis ducked Lamont Roach. They got excuses. You got excuses to double tap that screen, pop, pop, just because I'm telling the truth. Eye for eye. We had some good convo, bro, when you was gone. Damn, I could see. I scrolled a little. I like, damn, y'all was really going at it. I see Kenneth was going at it. Eye for eye. Bro, y'all went in. Out the maker. Saying Keyshawn Davis is a clown. Tanker maniac logic. Come on, man. Come on, my peoples. We just gotta be real with what's really going on in boxing. And by the way, I'm gonna point something out to you guys. The whole Zuffa boxing and Dana White and His Excellency Turkey Al Sheikh, everybody's making it like that's automatic. Like that's gonna be an automatic hit. That's not automatic hit, my people. It's not guaranteed that thing is even gonna work out. Okay? Just because you got a lot of money behind something doesn't mean the people's gonna get behind it. So let's wait till they do it. Because when you have a whole new boxing league and a whole new belt and a whole other, and you're bringing in your own fighters and all that, and a lot of them is gonna be guys with a lot of losses or up and coming new guys. It's gonna be tough to catch on. It's gonna be real tough to catch on. Superman, I'm trying to duck this cold. Where you at again, Superman? I don't gotta duck the cold, man. It's warm. It's hot as hell. I had to take off the hoodie because I was burning. Hot up in here. Look, man. There's some fights that need to be made, and Tank Davis versus all of these guys, those are fights that need to happen. If he retires without fighting any of them, that's crazy. That's crazy work. Jay said that if you don't have the green belt involved, I'm not interested. I'm trying to tell you, man, that turkey belt, that's not gonna gain interest in a very, very long time. It's gonna take years. They have to have like a 5 to 10 year plan or something crazy like that to make that belt relevant. Because you're not gonna hear people say, "Yo, man, he got the turkey belt. Hey, he got the Zuffa belt." Not gonna hear that no time soon. So the only interesting part about it is the money. Like, well, let me get this money over here with them. But as far as, historical relevance, it has none. Superman, I'm at work in Queens. Ooh, Queens, New York. Yep, it's cold out there. For sure. Eye for eye. Ain't nobody giving up they belt to start over for a new league, for a new label, basically. Look, man, it's like I told you. It'll take a very long time for TKO and Zuffa boxing to really get going. Because as interesting as the fights are going to be, I'm pretty sure they're going to put talented guys to fight each other. And they're going to have a lot of slugfest type of fight. Turkey's going to be pressuring them to fight that type of fight. It's still not going to be the best fighters in boxing. And that's what fans want to see. When you finally grab a Zuffa belt, nobody's going to consider you a champion, baby. Nobody, when there's an IBF, a WBC, a WBO, a WBA champion out there, nobody going to consider a Zuffa belt champion, a real champion. So what they're going to do to make him legitimate is let him fight for a Ring Belt magazine, for the Ring magazine belt. But how? Think about it. If somebody in Zuffa boxing or or in the TKO league, right, has the Ring magazine belt at 140, you think people are gonna take that belt serious? If you have a Shakur or Gary Antoine Russell at 140 who holds the WBC title, the WBA or whatever else, they're gonna take that Zuffa belt champion legit. If anything, and I said it before, the value of the Ring magazine belt is gonna be diminished because you're gonna allow these guys that are on their own little boxing league that ain't fighting any of the actual best in the world. You're gonna let them have that belt. That don't make no sense. But it looks like that is exactly how they're going to proceed. So you gotta convince me. You're gonna have to convince me that Zuffa boxing and TKO league that is gonna work out. I need to be convinced. I'm not sold yet. To me, you having a lot of money doesn't mean that it's gonna go. And that's why I made the example before. When you take a look at the NFL, how many competitors they had, and all of them bit the dust. Why? Because the NFL is already ingrained into American society. It's part of American society. Sunday night football, Thursday football, Super Bowl Sunday, that's part of that's part of American society. So when you come up with a whole new football league, yes, you're gonna have some hardcore football fans who are gonna tune in and check it out. Check out the old washed up players that now went to that league, and the new up and coming guys looking for an opportunity to get some play time. But ultimately, None of those football leagues could even come close to the NFL success. And ultimately, they all died. I think there's one right now, the XFL. I think the Rock Out got a league now too. But you can't name a single player on that league. Nobody up in here can name a single player in that new football league. So we have to see, people feel like this is a guaranteed slam dunk because Turkey and Dana got a lot of money. We got to see. It's not always about having a lot of money. You got to bring the names over there for the fans to go with them. If you're not going to have the pound for pound guys, the legitimate world champions go there, you're a B-level boxing league. That's what you are. Kenneth Harden. Shout out to this channel. I'm 52 years young, and I love this chatting and boxing. And this is my first time seeing and chatting with you boxing fans. Kenneth Harden, I appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate the shout out, my brother. That's what this is about. Boxing for Breakfast is a show that I came up with. And let me tell you, Kenneth, I think as somebody, we're close. I'm 47 years old. You're a few years older than me. But, we both adults, right? We both middle-aged. Let me tell you something interesting, Kenneth. In the morning time, I would wake up, and it could be 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning. I would be having my breakfast, and I would be thinking about all these fights. Like, damn, man, who's Shakur? Is Shakur gonna fight Tank? Is Buck Crawford finally gonna get that fight with Canelo? I would be thinking about these things, but guess what? As with most boxing fans, I don't have a bunch of people around me in my family that's into boxing like that I could sit down and talk about the fights, talk about who's the best fighters, who make predictions. I don't have that. My wife don't want to hear that shit. She ain't into boxing like that. She want to watch the big fights. She want to watch Crawford versus Canelo. But she ain't into boxing like that. So most of us, we're with somebody or we're around people that ain't into boxing like that. So guess what? I will wake up in the morning thinking about boxing, but I ain't talking with nobody about it. And I said to myself, you know what? There's got to be more people out there just like me who you're thinking about it. So that's how I came up with Boxing for Breakfast, my guy. I said, you know what? Let me come up with a show so we talk boxing in the morning. Now you could be, whether you're having your breakfast, whether you're driving to work, whether you just woke up, but you got some boxing content early in the morning where you can engage, where we could go back and forth, we could trash talk, we could, because that's the one thing about Box Center. I try to keep it, cordial. We allow the trash talking. You guys know it. We could go back and forth. But we don't go with the disrespect. As soon as somebody gets disrespectful, they get invited to the block party. Bam! So I appreciate the shout out, Kenneth Harden. And this show is for you guys. Real talk. This for you guys. This for me too, because I love the sweet science. I love to be able to go back and forth. I love different opinions. I'm not looking for, everybody to agree with me or us to have the same talking points. Nah, different opinions. That's what makes for an interesting debate. Having said that, Tank Davis is a dog. He's scary. Claressa Shields told ya. JJ's in there. Egg, spam, toast, and coffee. Ooh, enjoy, my brother. That breakfast is getting you ready for this Friday. Handle that. R30, real talk. That's what this is about. Box Center, Boxing for Breakfast has to be as real as it gets. You guys know, anybody who's been with the channel long enough, you joined the show or seen my videos, you guys know I never cap. I don't make stuff up out of thin air. I don't make fake narratives about fighters that I don't like. If I'm telling you something, it's because I feel that way. And then you can see why. You can look into it and say, damn, even if you disagree with me, you got to understand it. Got to understand it. The Brain, good morning. Are you up to date on this Muhammad Ali Revival Act proposal. I'm not really up to date. I know that Dana White and His Excellency Turkey Al Sheikh, they trying to, or the last I heard, they were trying to make changes that would not benefit the fighters, but I don't really know the details. Side note, breakfast beef, bacon, eggs, cheese, and a hard roll. Man, yo, y'all really getting ready for Friday. Golly. Bro, the brain, what? You about to run 45 miles? You about to run a marathon? You get ready, my G. Y'all ready for that action today. By the way, my peoples, happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. My people, this show is for you. This show is for you guys. So I'm honored. Okay, that's real talk. I feel lucky that you guys choose to spend a little bit of your mornings with me talking boxing. Salute to everybody tuning in, man. That's real talk. Kenneth Harden, Tank is a duck, and I'm pissed about it because he's my fighter. Win, lose, or draw. And I said it before, Kenneth. Tank Davis, and we all know this. Everybody in the chat right now, anybody who watched the video later knows. Tank Davis is one of the most talented fighters in boxing today. If we're talking about punching power, speed, counter punching, footwork, ring IQ, defense, Tank Davis is one of the best in the game today. It's just his refusal to fight the other best that frustrates us. That's the problem. The brain. I need the salt and carbs for tomorrow to spar. Okay. You get ready for that action. JJ's in the house. Turkey and Dana are not for the fighters and just for themselves. I mean, that's what it's looking like. But I already told you, man. I'm not sold. The TKO league and the Zuffa belt, I'm not sold. They're gonna have to prove to me. They're gonna have to show me that shit is gonna work. This whole, we're gonna bring our whole new league to boxing. Yup. Go check out them leagues they brought to the NFL and see how that worked out for them. So you're gonna have to show me. You're gonna have to show me that you can make it happen. Black Jericho, salute to you as well, Jay Smith. Appreciate it, my brother. Kenneth Harden, I got a customer. I'm a barber. I'll be back. Handle business. Take care of that fade, my brother. Don't push that man wig back. Jason Willen, top of the morning, good people. I'm late. Don't worry about it, my brother. You ain't missed nothing. We talking this boxing right now. The important part of it is that you here. And I appreciate you tuning in, by the way. The brain. Tank is talented, but smart enough to know his limits against boxers like Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney's skill set. I mean, he stayed away from that type of boxer. Slick boxers who are really going to use that footwork on him. He mostly fought. Matter of fact, listen, if you look at Tank's resume, there's a lot of fighters from, like south of the border, Mexico, Ecuador, Guadalajara, and all of them other places that end up with La Jara. He fought a lot of guys from South America. So he know the type of fighters that they picking for him. JJ's in there has Jay Smith in North Carolina, duck season in November 1st. But Tank duck season is almost year long. Come on, man. It's a duck season. That's crazy. And I always got to respond when people say that Tank is not fighting Shakur now because his heart is not in it anymore. And I'm like, wait a minute. But he's 30 years old. You're talking about his heart ain't in it anymore. So his heart wasn't in it when he was 29? His heart wasn't in it to fight him when he was 28, 27? What happened? So when his heart was in it, he didn't want to fight him either? That don't make no sense to me. It's not about his heart being in or out of it. It's about he don't want to fight Shakur. That's all there is to it. R30, my G. Why don't other boxing media talk about the duck Tank? I mean, that is hard to say. I think that there's some who don't want to get on his bad side. There's some, but there's boxing media out there who say everything was going down. Like, go check out Blue Blood Sports TV. He called it how it is. He called it exactly how it is going down. So there's people out there saying it and talking about it. Cause listen, man, it's gonna be a tragedy if Tank Davis decides to retire without fighting any of the best. That's a tragedy because we already know that Tank, talent wise, he's one of the best. And let me just point something out, my peoples. And I said this before. I said it in yesterday's episode of Boxing for Breakfast. If Tank Davis decided, you know what, F it, I'm gonna fight everybody. I'm gonna fight all of them. Shakur, Devin, Tio, I'm gonna move up. Gary Antoine Russell, I'm gonna fight everybody. If he do that, he probably retires with a record like 40-2, 41-1, 39-3. Like, he'll retire with a great record and a bunch of great fights and a bunch of money too. But he wanna retire with that O. So he's not gonna have all of those big fights, all of those great fights. People talking about the money, the money, the money. Man, you know how much money Tank makes fighting these guys? A shit load of money. So it's not just about, Jake Paul is not just about the money, my people. That's cap. Jake Paul is also about maintaining that O because that's an exhibition fight. That O is not gonna be in jeopardy. And I told you guys before, after Lamar Roach did what he did to Tank, I promise you, some of that air of invincibility wore off. People dying to get in the ring with Tank. Like, well, we not scared of you no more, homie. I'm trying to tell you. The brain, this is not calling Tank scared of them. It's a bad matchup. I struggle with tall, lanky fighters and short fighters that throw combinations. I look good against guys my size and muscular fighters. I feel you, bro, but it's like styles make fights, and all these fights, because Shakur and Teofimo don't have the same style. You could maybe say Shakur and Devin because they have that type of defense that they very hard to hit, but Teofimo Lopez will stand right there and bang with you more consistently than Shakur and Devin. So he could have fought Tio, but he chose not to. And he's already talking about retirement. How could we not be disappointed? Because he make a lot of money. Oh, he made a lot of money, so we're happy. I'm happy for his personal life. You got the bag. I'm disappointed for boxing. J. Jack, the Turks are threatening the fighters like indentured servants. You hate to see it. Tank see himself ahead of it. Fame will attract funds for fights. I can't blame him. The thing about what you're saying, my brother, is that Turkey is irrelevant because Turkey joined boxing the other day. Turkey's a newbie in boxing. You got to remember, my guy, that before Turkey decided that he wanted to do this, he was a regular boxing fan, bro. Just a few years back, Turkey was a guy watching boxing on TV with a lot of money and a backing. That's it. So he just joined boxing. Tank decided not to fight any of these guys to protect that O, and you don't want to admit it, J. Jack, because you're saying that he decided to go for the money, but he's not going to make more money with Pitbull, with Frank Martin, with Rollies, that he's going to make with Tio, that he's going to make with Shakur, that he's going to make with Devin. He'll make a lot more money fighting those guys. So the notion that he's chasing the money, it's easy to debunk that. He's not chasing the money. He's chasing protecting that O. And people have a hard time admitting it. And the proof that he's just trying to protect that O is Lamar Roach. Gave him a draw and now he refused to give him the rematch. That shows you it's about protecting the O. Jason Williams, when Tank fought Pedraza, he made me a fan. I've been waiting for the follow-up ever since. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. Tank fought Pedraza, and people don't even understand that Pedraza is Tank Davis's only reigning champion in the division where he fights. That's the only one he ever faced in his whole career. For the secondary title that Barrios had, he moved up to 140. For the one Leo Santa Cruz had, he was at 135. He moved down to 130. Lamar Roach, he moved up from 130 to 135. Like, Pedraza is literally the only guy that was a champion in Tank Davis' division, and Tank Davis fought him and beat him. At 135, Tank Davis has not fought a single reigning champion. Let that sizzle in your spirit, my peoples. He got a secondary title from Gamboa, and once he had that Mickey Mouse belt, Teofimo Lopez was the champion in that division. Devin Haney and Shakur also champions in that division. He ain't fight none of them. You 30 years old. And at this point, all Tank do is talk about money. Oh, yeah, but I got money. Yeah, but I got a lot of money. So there you have it. As far as business-wise, he's a success. If you make millions of dollars business-wise, you're a success. But as far as where he's going to stack up in the history books, he the last. Devin, Tio, Shakur, Loma, all of them is going to be above him. All of them is going to be more accomplished than him. So there's going to be no conversation to even be had. When it comes to who's the best fighters, he's not going to be there as far as the resume. When we start talking about, for those of you who love to bring resumes, who love to say Crawford ain't beat nobody, Shakur ain't beat nobody, well, we're going to have to take a look at Tank if he chooses to retire. Last fight versus Jake Paul, not even a fight, an exhibition show. We're going to have to talk about that. We're going to have to address it. There's a reason why Claressa Shields called Tank scary. Whether you admit it or not, he's done everything to avoid putting that O on the line. Fighting good fighters. He's fighting good fighters. I can't knock him. Because Frank Martin could fight. Ryan Garcia, Pitbull, Rollies, all these guys can fight. But the guys that we want to see him step in the ring with, that we've been asking them to step in the ring with, he not having it, bro. And it's funny because Canelo Alvarez, chose not to fight David Benavidez. They not in the same weight class anymore. And people still ask Canelo to fight Benavidez. How you still asking Canelo, fight Benavidez, fight the Mexican monster, who's not even in the same weight class as Canelo, but you're not asking Tank Davis to fight Shakur, who's in the same weight class as him, who's a world champion, who could unify titles with him. Help me understand that. But it is what it is, my peoples. We're going to get Tank Davis versus Jake Paul, and he might retire after that. He's going to get a super crazy bag, and with that amount of money, he may never come back because, again, he want to protect that O. He's not going to come back and risk it. If he retires undefeated and he got the bag, why he's going to come back and fight Shakur and get made to look bad? Nope, he's going to stay retired. JJ's in the house. Nice to see you, everyone, clicking together. You already know what it is, my brother. R. Tyler Rankin. You're making very good points. I appreciate it. R. Tyler. Because, look, at the end of the day, I think we all agree that Tank Davis is a great fighter. By definition of what a great fighter is, Tank Davis is that. One of the best counter punchers in the game. One of the hardest punchers in the game. One of these guys that can put you to sleep with one shot. The footwork, the ring IQ. Tank has all the tools in the bag to be one of the best in the game. But then he's not fighting the best in the game. to support the eye test. The eye test tell us that Tank is one of the best. But get in there with the best and show us. Plus, who's not disappointed about Tank Davis not giving Lamar Roach the rematch? Who's not going to be disappointed about that? When we saw the way that fight played out, most of us felt like Lamar Roach won that fight. Tank was gifted a draw. And you skip out on the rematch? Come on, my peoples. That's nasty work. Lamar Roach, I felt like he got kneecapped. Because this was his payday. This was his time, second time to shine on the big stage. And an opportunity to prove that he beat Tank Davis. They took that from him. Nasty work. He got kneecapped. Out of the maker, Jay Smith, Tank brings even more attention to the sport of boxing. He becomes a household name when he knocks out Jake Paul. Tank's smart. He ain't retiring yet. Well, I hope your positive predictions about Tank will pan out. But he's 30 years old and hasn't fought nobody. Hasn't fought any of the best. So I know out of the maker that you want to find a positive angle to spin around Tank. But he's still ducking all the best at 30 years old. You can't change that. You're not going to fool anybody into believing that Tank Davis ducked all of the best because he's trying to do good things for boxing. Nah, he ducked the best because he protected that O. Let's be real, my G. The brain, in my opinion, what hurt Canelo was ducking Boo Boo and hiding in 168 division under franchise witness protection, ducking mandatory, then moving between weight with losing his belts. So here's the interesting part, the brain, that I want you to consider. You saying that he ducked Boo Boo, right? Now, when Canelo Alvarez chose not to fight Boo Boo, he went to 168 and he fought Caleb Smith for over $30 million. So should we say that he didn't duck Boo Boo because he made over $30 million? Because that's the logic with Tank Davis fans. Tank Davis fans are saying that he's not ducking Lamar Roach because he's going to get the bag with Jake Paul. Well, Canelo Alvarez got the bag with Caleb Smith. Does that mean he didn't duck? We're going to have to revisit that now, I guess. I'm just going with the Tankomaniac logic. He didn't duck because he's getting a bag. Cool. So I guess Canelo didn't duck either. Canelo got a huge bag at 168. Tell me then. At that time, when Canelo got that bag at 168, there was no active fight. Who was making $30 million purses? So I guess Canelo Alvarez, I want to apologize to Canelo for saying all these years that he was ducking Boo Boo. I want to personally apologize because since he made $35 million in the fight after not ducking him, after not fighting him, he made a lot of money. It's not a duck. Let's revisit that. Or unless you want to tell me that logic only worked for Tank Davis. Tank Davis could skip out on a rematch on a fighter that whooped his ass, but because he's going to make a lot of money, it's not a duck. Well, Canelo, he never fought Boo Boo. He never fought to a draw with Boo Boo Andre. He never fought him at all. But he made $35 million, so it's not a duck, I guess. I guess we're going to have to revisit a lot of fighters who we thought they duck, but they made a lot of money in the following fight. So I guess they wasn't a duck. How much sense does that logic make? You tell me, my peoples. How much sense does it make? Oh, no. He didn't duck this guy because he's going to make a lot of money against that guy. I don't know, Rick. But that doesn't really add up to me. Superman, God, duck. I'm trying to tell you, my peoples. How do we decide what is a duck and what is not a duck? And how we change logic? How we change logic on the duck? What counts as a duck? Oh, he making a lot of money. He's not a duck. Cool. Canelo Alvarez made a shitload of money when he didn't fight Boo Boo. So I guess that wasn't a duck. Tell me I'm lying. We have to adapt the same logic to everybody. We just can't have a logic for this fighter and a whole new one for that fighter. That doesn't really make sense to me. I like to keep the same energy across the board. There you go. That's for you. There you go. There you go. Enjoy. Enjoy it. That's the one thing, my peoples. If you listen to me long enough, you're gonna realize that I always keep the same energy. If I call this guy a duck for doing something, I'm calling everybody a duck for doing the same thing. I'm not gonna tell you, yeah, this guy's a duck. But no, because this guy, he got a good excuse. He got a good reason why he did it. Which is what people want to do with Tank Davis. Ain't no such thing as a good excuse. You either a duck or you not. It's always been that way. Either you duck or you did it. He duck. Let's keep it real, my people. He duck. And Lamar Roach should have got that rematch. We know it, my people. Let's keep it 100. Lamar Roach should have got his rematch. They did him dirty. Jay just said that Tank a duck. Tank ducked Shakur and Roach and Tio and Lomachenko. Try to catch him at the tail end of his career. Try to catch him with 1 foot out the door. Salute to Lomachenko for not falling for that trap. Wes Dussett, peace, chat. Peace, Jay Smith. Salute, my brother. Wes Dussett in the building. COE Films. Jay, you're my guy. But I think you have been compromised by the Bozy call, bro. You changed energy on Boots. I think you need to go back, my brother. I think you need to go back and see what I've been saying about Boots all along. In fact, since Boots was in the welterweight division, I said that he was going to become undisputed in that weight class unless politics got in the way of that happening. So if you think that I changed energy, I ask you, my brother, please go back. That's why I love YouTube. I love social media because whatever you post is there. You can't change it. You can't go back and edit a video that you already posted. So I want you to go back when you have time and just scroll down and you'll find that I've posted about Boots multiple times. Videos, I also done lives where Boots is the main talking point. And I've always been consistent about Jerron Boots Ennis. He's one of the best. In fact, I only see Shakur getting to the #1 pound for pound spot in the world before Boots because he started accomplishing first. By the time Boots became a champion, Shakur was already a multi-division champion. So even though Boots is going to be accomplishing, but Shakur is ahead of him in accomplishments. He's also more famous, a bigger star. You know, he got an endorsement deal with Reebok and other things going on. So I think that they're both very special fighters, but Shakur is ahead with the accomplishments, with the popularity. So I think that he'll get to the #1 pound for pound spot in the world first, and eventually you're going to see Boots and Shakur battling it out for that #1 spot. The same way you see Crawford and Usyk, for example, in Norway. Boots and Shakur, they're going to be fighting for that #1 spot. Like, you get a big win, you're at #1. Then I go, boom, I get a big win, I go to #1. That's going to end up happening. But now, my brother, a conversation is never going to compromise my opinion, my point of view, my perspective, what I share with you guys. I promise you that. If you look back, you'll see that I've always been consistent. The brain. Then it's safe to say, historically, that Tyson is a duck for not fighting George Foreman, 90-91, and paying off Lennox Lewis to step aside versus a bigger payday against Holyfield, the perceived easier fight. I'm telling you, people decide what a duck is based on the fighters that they like and the fighters that they don't like. You don't like him, it's a duck. You like him, you find a good reason, a good excuse why he's not a duck. No, no, no. This is not a duck because he had a good reason for it. COE film. Last I talked with you, you told me that I hated Boots, and I told you that he had an opportunity from Turkey and declined for less money. I don't understand how is that even relevant? I don't understand COE films. How does that change my energy about Boots at all? Like, I, you're saying if you're saying that my energy changed, I'm saying the same thing consistently since I started this channel about Boots. He's one of the best. He's one of the most talented guys in the game. So you're getting into irrelevant discussions about the money that you feel like he should have took and the type of contract that you feel he should have signed. And that's not a conversation that I entertain too much, my brother. Because, and I say this all the time, like, if you never seen a boxing contract, and I never seen well, I've seen it, I signed a boxing contract. But how do you know exactly what he was declining? You don't. As a fan, fans should not say, well, you should sign a contract, you should sign a contract. Because COE films, you don't know what they're asking them to agree to. You don't know how many years they want off of him. You don't know how many fights. You don't know what clause they have in there that he doesn't want to agree to, my brother. Boots did say, I'm not trying to sell my soul. So whatever that meant, he has a reason why he didn't want to go with Turkey. You don't know the reason, and you just choose to go with that narrative of, oh, he could have made a lot of money, and he chose not to. You don't know what that's about, bro. If you haven't, look, that's the one thing about boxing fans. We always telling fighters to sign the contract. And you don't even know what they asking them to sign, what they asking them to agree to. But we like, sign the contract, sign the contract. Nah, bro, that's not even a good conversation between us because we don't know what's in the contract. We just guessing and assuming. That's all we doing, making guesses of what we think is there. West does it. Do you think Alberto Puello and Gary Antoine rematch or no? Oof. I don't know. That's a possibility. Because Alberto Puello, a lot of people felt like he got robbed versus Subriel Matias. That was a real good fight. It was a real close fight. Honestly, it could have went either way. I kind of was leaning towards Alberto Puello, but you can't really take my word because I'm Dominican. That's my Dominican brother. So I think there's going to be some bias in there somewhere. But I felt like he edged it out. Regardless, the judges gave it to Subriel Matias. And right away, I think they already had somebody lined up for Subriel to fight. Like, yeah, fight this guy next. So I feel like they did Alberto Puello dirty. Like, this the world champion. You're not even going to give him a rematch. Gary Antoine Russell is an option. And you know what? Maybe Gary wants to avenge that loss. Maybe he's like, you know what? The one guy who beat me, I want to get my get back. JJ has George Foreman said himself, he don't want nothing to do with Tyson. Facts. But you imagine that? There are fans that will say Mike Tyson ducked George Foreman, and Foreman out of his mouth is saying, I want nothing to do with Mike Tyson. I wasn't trying to fight him. That man is somebody I wasn't trying to get in the ring with. He said it in those words. COE Films. No, you told me I was hating when I'm only asking why he didn't take the fight. It's only true that Turkey pays the most, and not one person that said anything about money Turkey offered. It's true though. COE Films. But again, that's what makes you a hater, that you want to keep talking about money and contracts. You don't know what Turkey offered. You don't know what's in the contract. That's what makes you a hater. Because you want to highlight an offer that Boots didn't take. But you don't know why he took it. And you cling on to it. You keep holding on to it. Like, look, you brought that up before. And you come into this live. And you bringing it up again. And you keep drilling on that. That's what make you a hater, COE Films. If that's a talking point that you brought up one day, we talk about it, it went by, that's it. Okay, we talked about it. But COE Films, Once you keep doing that over and over, you know what you become? You become a narrative spreader. You become the guy. You know what you do? You go on other chats, whether you go on Blue Blood Sports, Cigar Talk, wherever you go, and you say that same shit. So you become a narrative spreader, because everywhere you go, you're like, yo, Boots, he could have took it with Turkey. He didn't take it with Turkey. Like, what is your point? Why are you going to keep repeating that? Because you a narrative spreader. That's what you become. JJ's in their house. The brain boxing politics. The brain. I just saw Gary Antoine leaving the gym. Yo, listen. Gary Antoine Russell is a fighter who, once he became a world champion, I thought I was gonna see people trying to get that shine, trying to fight him. You're not seeing a lot of interest. You're not seeing a lot of people calling him out. And I gotta say, Shakur Stevenson versus Gary Antoine Russell is also a super interesting fight. That's a fight I'd like to. That's a fight that I would like to see, my people. Hold on a second. Shakur Stevenson versus Gary Antoine Russell. That's a fight. And I don't know if you guys remember, there was a time where Shakur Stevenson wore a PBC hat, a hat with a PBC logo, after things didn't work out with Devin Haney, and he was like, there's big things to come. So I thought that maybe he signed with PBC, and they just didn't announce it. So I'm like, you know what? If he signed with the PBC, a fight with Gary Antoine Russell is easy to make, and a unification. And a unification fight. COE film. Bro, it's the truth. Turkey said it out his own mouth. How is that a narrative? COE film. It's not a narrative that Turkey said it. I never said it wasn't true. I've already agreed with you. Me and you already know this. You've repeated that in I don't know how many live. It's a narrative when you want to keep repeating it over and over and over. Do you have something else that you want to talk about other than Turkey offering a deal or whatever? Is there anything else other than that? Because that's what makes you a narrative spreader, COE Films. Every single comment you made is you beating a dead horse with the same thing over and over. Move on. Look, we talking about Teofimo, possibly Gary Antoine Russell at the 140 division. You still drilling the same thing about Boots. We're not even talking about the same division anymore. All the makers, Shakur, be clout chasing. Tank like Boots, be clout chasing, but I mean, think about this. You say that Shakur be clout chasing Tank, but he's calling him out to fight, and it's Tank who don't want to fight him. Shakur is a champion. Tank is a champion. If you're the best, you're supposed to call out the best. Look how interesting is your point of view. That's how you know, out the maker, that you're a tankomaniac. If Shakur Stevenson feel like he's the best, he's supposed to be calling out the best so that he can prove that he's the best. He's doing what he's supposed to do, and you call it clout chasing. Meanwhile, Tank Davis, who had an invisible list, who told you Teofimo, Devin Haney, and Shakur, they all on my list. It turns out the nigga only had Jake Paul on his list. You talking about clout chasing when Tank done beat everybody up on Twitter? Yo, on Twitter, Tank done knocked out Shakur Stevenson, slept Teofimo Lopez, and pummeled Devin Haney. On Twitter. In real life, he never say let's fight. And you talking about clout chasing. This is crazy. This is insane. All the people clout chasing when Tank Davis done beat everybody up on Twitter. That's nuts. Remember when Tank said he was going to send Shakur a contract? Do you guys remember? Look, I'm going to ask you, and this is an honest question. Do you guys remember when Lomachenko pulled out on negotiations with Tank Davis? At that time, Tank Davis did not have an opponent. Shakur did not have an opponent. Yo, a reporter, y'all can look it up. The video's up. A reporter asked Tank Davis if they gonna send a contract to Shakur, and he said yes. He said they was gonna send him a contract. Our contract was never signed, B. I ain't never signed no contract. Why you playing with the people like that? Why are you gonna say you're sending a contract when you ain't sending shit and you know it? So we got all the feathers flying around it. You looking at the feathers. As you talking, feathers is flying in your mouth. And you acting like you don't see the duck. You got feathers flopping all inside your eyeballs and your nose. And you don't see the duck. Come on, my people. Let's be real with it. That's all I do. Keep it 100. Black Jericho, facts. Why would you want another dude in your division thinking he's better than you? And y'all can fight to figure it out. Tank fans something else. They don't even want Roach to get a rematch. Yo, Tank fans is wild. Shakur is clout chasing because he want to fight Tank. Meanwhile, Tank done beat everybody up on Twitter, but he not clout chasing. How that logic work? How does that logic work, my people? JJ's in the house. Duck feathers. Man, Aldo Maker got duck feathers in his mouth, spitting out the duck feathers, and still won't see the duck. That's how y'all be. Y'all playing too many games. Y'all playing too many games, my people. We have to be more realistic with what's actually going on in the sport of boxing. Gotta be more realistic, my peoples. You see it. We all see the duck. You can't just make a duck disappear by ignoring it. You know, it's almost like people think, if we forget about everything that happened and we look away, it's like it never happened. Nah, we know what happened. We know the duck moves. Black Jericho. Is this not boxing where you're supposed to want to fight someone else? But now that's clout chasing? Imagine that Tank Davis fans think if you call him out, you clout chasing. You better not want to whoop Tank Davis because that's clout chasing. What is going on, man? Boxing? I don't know, man. I don't know. Some of you boxing fans, my people, you come up with some type of logic. I know that you want to defend somebody no matter what. You're going to defend. But come on, my people. You can't go to that level. That's insane. That is insane. I have to put something for y'all real quick, man. Hold on. I got something for you guys. I got something. I got something for you guys. I got something for you guys. Just because y'all my peoples, I'm going to hook y'all out real quick. It's early morning, my peoples. Ah, shit. Damn. Oh, here we go. I got something for y'all, my peoples. I'm going to look out for you. JJ's in the house. Fanagers in the building. The fanagers, man. The dreaded fanagers who are worrying about how much a fighter's making, who's putting butts in seats, and he's making money for his family. They making millions of dollars every fight, man. What are we talking about? Y'all just saw my code right here. But let me put y'all on, my people. I'm going to give you what you need right now. Give you what you need. Give y'all what y'all need. Not playing no more. That's it. We got to be honest out here. Absurdo es que a 9 de cada 10 personas
personas. Se les escapan plomos en el... Here now to sing his very own version of the...
Too many fantasies, bro. Too many. Happy Friday, my people. Tank Davis needs to fight Shakur. Tank Davis needs to fight. Tank Davis needs to fight Shakur Stevenson. He needs to fight Teofimo Lopez. He needs to fight Devin Haney. Stop the ducktail. Come on, Tank. Stop the ducking, my people. We don't want it no more. All these feathers all over the place. There you have it, my peoples. We not trying to have it. We don't want to hear the ducktails. Jay is in the Happy Friday. Word of the day, don't be a duck. Hit that like button, my peoples. Damn, we couldn't even get to 30 likes when I'm giving you this straight fire boxing content. But my peoples, one love to everybody who tuned in this morning. One love to everybody who hit the like button. One love to everybody who didn't hit the like button. You still tuned in. You still enjoyed the show. Boxing for Breakfast is for you, my peoples. Now, before I get the hell out of here, on this beautiful Friday morning, you know I'm going to give you guys the Jay Stradamus words of the day. Let me bless you with that, my peoples. Superman, you already know, my G. Ladies and gentlemen, my Friday morning words of the day for you will start off with this. This weekend, today's Friday, this weekend, don't forget to do something for yourself. Don't forget to do something for you. It could be anything. It could even be go for a walk by yourself. Don't forget that. Do something for yourself. We're always doing, because most of us is men. I know some women love boxing for breakfast, enjoying it, but most of us is men. And men, most of the time we're doing something, for the family, for our kids, for work. Do something for yourself, my peoples. I want to start off with that. And then I'll segue into this. And now I'm going to give you guys some jewels that you're not always going to get. But I'm going to bless you with this one. There's only a few of us in here, so you're about to be blessed. Truly, I promise you. One of the best times for your brain to process information is when you're by yourself. We can have a conversation about a million different things, but your brain processes information and comes up with ideas and figures things out the most when you're by yourself thinking. That's why sometimes you could be in an argument with somebody, and an hour later you be thinking, and you be like, damn, I wish I would have said that. Damn, I wish if I would have said this, I would have won the argument. Shit. Because when you're thinking by yourself, your brain processes a certain way. So why do I say this to you, my peoples? To say, spend time with yourself. Yes, you need to be around friends. You need to be around family, co-workers. You're always going to be around people. Don't forget to spend some time with yourself, my peoples. Even if it's 5 minutes, even if it's 10 minutes, when you could just sit down by yourself and think what's going on, what I like, what's bothering me, think. And if you do that, just by that, you could start the process of making your life better from whatever it is that you're dealing with. Spend some time with yourself, my peoples. That's my word of the day. Y'all already know what it is. I'm Jay Smith. This is another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I promise you. I promise you, my peoples. I'll do this for you. Um, let's see. There's some boxing this weekend. I don't know if ESPN or other networks. There's not major fights, but there are some fights. So we're gonna be tuning in. We're gonna be enjoying the show. And my peoples, y'all already know. Tomorrow I definitely will be live early in the morning. We're gonna be talking boxing. Salute to everybody, man. Y'all already know it. Superman, JJ's in the house. Black Jericho was in the building. Al the Maker, and everybody else who tuned in. I really appreciate you guys, man. I'm out of here. You already know what it is. Jay Smith signing off. Peace. Let's get the hell out of here, man.